The day after he passed away, I was walking to work, and it was going to be a long day at work, I knew. I didn't know how I was going to handle it. And Dad was there as soon as I got out of my truck. He walked with me all the way to the entrance. He stayed with me all day. He said, "You can do this. Don't worry about me. I'm golden right now," he said. Dad wore many hats throughout his 85 years. He was an artist, an architect, a builder, and most importantly, a loving father and friend to so many of us gathered here. This is really a story about a man who lived two separate lives, one before his brain injury and one after. And you will soon find out they're very different. Fred's passion for art and creativity was the driving force of his life. He often said that his greatest achievement was realizing his dream of becoming a professional artist and graphic artist. This wasn't just a career for him, it was a calling that allowed him to travel the world and connect with people from different cultures. Dad saw art as a catalyst for human connection. And he used his talents to bridge gaps and bring people together. My father and I shared a bond, and we both worked in the graphic arts industry. Many times, artists would come in and proof their jobs that were on the printing press. They would tell me stories about Dad. In Sacramento, when I worked in Sacramento downtown, they would just tell me how much they enjoyed working with him. His dedication to sharing his artistic gifts extended beyond his professional life. Every Christmas, Dad would volunteer at the local orphanage in Sacramento when we lived at the Landis house. He'd spend hours teaching the children how to make Christmas deck ornaments using paper sculptures. Those were copyright sculptures. Nobody else had those. Yeah. That was his creation, bringing joy and creativity into their lives during the holiday season. If there's one thing you should know about my father, it's that he lived by the motto, a todo madre. Spanish means, if you're going to do something, don't do it halfway. Give it everything you got, 100%. And he practiced what he preached. I couldn't believe how excited he got when the Nike ad came out. I know I'm dating myself on this, but just do it. When we first came out, that was his motto. He said, "Stop talking about it, just do it." And he was just so excited about that ad campaign that came out for Nike. I'll never forget the time Dad decided to dig his own built-in swimming pool at our house. He rented a small bobcat tractor. I think Tim was there. Yeah. And suddenly all of us boys found ourselves loading wheelbarrows of dirt in the backyard. Dad, in his infinite wisdom, devised a crude dirt ramp so he could drive the tractor in and out of the hole. I lost count of how many times he nearly flipped that tractor. But he was relentless. "Work till you drop," he'd yell, pushing us all to our limits. I'd say, "Dad, I'm tired." He'd say, "Work till you drop." I said, "Okay." Those days of digging that pool were the most important time of my life. It taught me not to give up. It taught me how to keep pushing on, even when you feel like you're going to pass out. To this day, I find myself repeating those words, "Work till you drop," to young coworkers who complain about being tired. It's a testament to Dad's enduring impact on not just me, but everyone he encountered. Fred's interests extended far beyond the art studio. He was an avid marathon runner, completing the New York City Marathon, the Beta Breakers, and even the grueling Western States 100, a 100-mile race through the Sierra Nevadas. He truly was the original marathon man. And if you ever have a chance to read that book, please read it. It's my favorite book. He talked about the runner's high. I was 10 years old, and I wanted that thing, whatever it was, that runner's high. And I followed him through the streets of Carmichael, trying to achieve it. And let's not forget, he also was a bicyclist too. He rode his bike from the Landis house to San Francisco. And I'm like, why? And he said, well, because it's fun. I said, well, I don't know how you got past the causeway, but he did it, back roads, he said. And I said, well, how long did it take you? I don't know, 8 hours, whatever. I said, okay, I'm going to drive when I learn how to drive, but let's not forget his legendary gardens. Dad's vegetable gardens and flower beds were works of art in his own right. He took great pride in sharing his harvest with guests, though I still chuckle remembering the looks on people's faces when he'd hand them a zucchini the size of a small child. I can almost hear them thinking, how on earth am I supposed to cook this, Fred? But he would just be so excited about that vegetable garden. Dad's inventive spirit knew no bounds. From creating his own basketball hoop, if you ever play basketball, which Vince did over there at our house, you could easily get impaled on one of those bolts that were sticking up, because the garage was half built. It was just the slab with the studs sticking out. You could easily have gotten impaled on one of those, but we kept playing. He restored antique rail cars. He approached every project with enthusiasm and determination. I'll never know how he managed to fit those rail cars into the back of his Volkswagen van, all by himself, but somehow he always found a way. And you know Dad and Volkswagens, right? He was all about Volkswagens. He had a fastback, a couple Beetles, 2 buses, and then he had a Scirocco too. He never let go of that Volkswagen. He loved them. Air-cooled, I guess. I don't know what it was. The impact Fred had on those around him was profound. He inspired artists not just in California, but around the world. I don't think I'll fully understand the scope of his legacy until I'm ready to leave this world myself. He taught us all how to work under pressure, to push ourselves to our limits, and most importantly, to get excited about life. I remember getting postcards from Saudi Arabia, and constantly, after my mom and dad had divorced, and he would send us pictures from all around the world. Now I'm in, Paris, France. Now I'm in Saudi Arabia. These are the people that I worked with. Of course, life with my dad wasn't always smooth sailing. I'll never forget the 4th of July massacre, 1976. We were rafting down the American River with a group of family and friends, and once again, I think Tim was there. I might get this story wrong, Tim, sorry, but when Dad got the brilliant idea to pick figs from the trees along the bank, next thing we knew, our raft had flipped, and I found myself being pulled from the water by my cousin. Leave it to Dad to leisurely float into an adventure. Even after suffering a brain injury later in life, Fred's indomitable spirit shone through. His wit remained as sharp as ever, a constant reminder of his resilience and zest for life. As we say goodbye to Fred today, I know what I'll miss most of his gentle nature and that razor-sharp wit. Dad had a way of making everyone around him feel special, whether through a kind word or a humorous quip or a giant zucchini from his garden. In closing, I'd like to share one last thought. Fred was a masterpiece painted with broad strokes of passion detailed with fine lines and of determination, and framed by the love of family and friends. He showed us all how to live a total madre to the fullest, without reservation or regret. Dad, we miss you terribly. You're with me right now. But we're grateful for the colorful legacy you left behind. Your art will continue to connect people. Your words will continue to inspire. And your memory will continue to bring smiles to our faces for years to come. Thank you, Dad, for everything. Rest in peace.
Thank you, Kelly.